we discussed. Okay, you can see this. So it is a single glass structure, a bowl-like structure, wherein if the rays fall, it will be concentrated onto the center line. Okay, so it is a similar topic. Okay, due to practical difficulty in manufacturing a large single mirror into a single piece. Okay, in cylindrical parabolic shape. That is the very first one which we discussed. Okay, narrow strips of the mirror will be fabricated, and they will be located at regular intervals. Okay, the main advantage is manufacturing will be easy, and if it is a large glass single structure, any small damage, the entire structure may break down. Okay, so in order to avoid that, glass strips are fabricated and they are placed like this. You can see. Okay, whenever the solar rays fall onto it, okay, it will be concentrated onto a central focal point. So here the absorber will be placed. The black color structure tube will be placed, wherein solar energy can be extracted. Okay, so this whatever absorber is there, it will be having a tracking mechanism which it will move across the sun. Right. So it is same as the first one. Instead of a single glass structure, okay, there are a series of strips. That is the only difference. Okay, the receiver tube. Okay, whatever tube is there, okay, it is made to rotate about the center of curvature. Okay, to track the sun, there will be a tracking mechanism. Right. The concentration ratio is approximately the same as number of mirror strips. You can get good amount of efficiency. Okay, as you increase the number of strips, the concentration ratio also increases, efficiency of the collector also increases. So main two advantages, one is ease of manufacture, second is if there is any damage, okay, you can easily replace a particular strip instead of the entire setup. That will be the main advantage. Okay. So the next type is linear Fresnel lens collector. Here a Fresnel lens is used, hence it is called as a linear Fresnel lens collector. Just take down a sketch. So these sketches are relatively easier to draw also. Okay. So this is the actually the Fresnel lens, okay, which is used. Okay, there will be some grooves here. So in this collector, a Fresnel lens, which consists of fine linear grooves on surface of refracting material. So this will be the refracting. So there will be certain grooves. The function of this grooves is to concentrate the radiation at a particular focal point. Okay. So one side of it will be flat, and the other side there will be number of grooves. Okay, and there will be a container which completely seals the arrangement, and at the center focal point there will be a receiver. So when the solar rays fall onto it, they will the rays will be concentrated at a single point. Okay, so the angle of the grooves is designed such that wherever the whatever may be the position of the groove, okay, it has to reflect the solar radiation to the common focal point. Okay, a concentration ratio of 10 to 30. Okay, compared to that of the flat plate corrector, 10 to 30 times it will be effective, and you can depending on the size, groove structure, okay, you can reach a temperature of 150 to 300 degrees centigrade depending on the application, also whatever application you want to use. Okay, so this is about linear Fresnel lens collector. So they are all advanced collectors. You cannot see them in daily applications. Okay, usually for daily use, we use either a photovoltaic collector or a tube structured collector, which will be usually a flat plate collector. If you ask the next question, why? Generally, we use it for domestic water heating, such applications. Yeah, the maximum temperature that we expect would be 60 to 70 degrees centigrade, not beyond, or 80 degrees. So, okay, so you don't need any advanced mechanism. A flat plate collector can easily give you a maximum temperature of 80 to 90 degrees. Right? So these collectors you cannot find in domestic applications. Next, paraboloidal paraboloidal dish collector. The name itself mentions there will be a dish. You have seen a dish collector at your home. Yeah, for cable connection, it might be there. It is a similar structure, and there will be a central receiver also in that, which will receive the signal, and through a wire it passes through the box. It's a similar mechanism. There will be a paraboloidal dish. So this is the dish. You can see over here. This is the dish. Okay. The function of this dish is it will be usually a huge one. Whenever the solar rays fall, it all will be reflected to a common focal point. Right. So here there will be a tracking mechanism. So from morning till evening, tracking in the sense I'll just explain in simple terms. Say this is morning 6 o'clock and evening 6 o'clock. So morning 6 o'clock, the dish will be in this structure. So whatever rays fall directly, it will be falling and it will be reflected. Okay. As the sun starts moving, there will be a stepper motor here. Okay. It will be usually microcontroller controlled. Okay. Or even these days, there are advanced mechanisms also. So this stepper motor, based on the time, it keeps on rotating it. Okay. So if you check in the afternoon 12 o'clock, so this dish will be somewhere in this direct orientation. Okay. If you check in the evening, it will be somewhere in this orientation. Okay. So once the sun sets, there will be a trigger here. It will reset it. So slowly the dish comes back to its original position. So this is called as a tracking mechanism. Along with the sun, the dish also moves so that the maximum utilization. Otherwise, what happens? At afternoon 12 o'clock, sun will be here. The rays will be falling somewhere. 50% of the rays will be going out. At afternoon 3 o'clock, it will be here. You don't get any energy at all. Okay. So to avoid that, what is done is there will be a tracking mechanism along with the sun. It moves. At the end of the day, there will be a trigger here. So when it reaches its peak position, it will be reset. So again, next day morning when the sun rise, it will be in normal position. Again, the tracking mechanism continues. Okay. So this is about the paraboloidal dish collector. It's a dish with a central receiver. That receiver is nothing but an absorber, similar to your cable TV receiver. Yeah. And depending on the size of this dish, you can achieve thousands of concentration ratio. It can work equivalent to 20, 30, 40 collectors, and you can go up to a temperature of 3000 degrees centigrade. If you design a proper one, you can run a steam power plant with the help of such receiver. Okay. Please take down. As I told you, all this is theory. Okay. Easily you can write only that solar radiation geometry and those formulas. If you remember, rest of the module is dead easy. Okay, easily you can see the names itself suggests some 5-6 collectors. If you study at least one question in the exam, it will be there. Some 7 or 8 applications are there. Out of that, 1 or 2 definitely you will get in the exam. Applications are also simple. So the next, hemispherical bowl mirror concentrator. It is little bit confusing with respect to this one, fixed mirror solar concentrator. Okay, here what happens, there will be a bowl. Just 1 second. So there will be a single glass. Instead of that, there will be in the first arrangement, whatever we saw over here, a single parabolic trough was there. Instead of that, here there will be a set of strips. Okay. So this is the fixed mirror solar concentrator. But here, this mechanism is totally different. Yeah. So if you see the sketch, it looks similar to fixed mirror, but that is why I have downloaded a photo from the net and I have put here. So this will be the absorber or receiver, okay, and these will be the heliostats that will be placed, which acts as the concentrator. Okay, based on certain calculations, they will be placed at regular locations. So whatever solar radiations fall, okay, that will be transferred onto the central absorber. The angle of inclination of each of them should be calculated. It depends upon the distance again. Okay, based on the distance, the angle of inclination will be calculated, so that any radiation of sun falling on it, it will be concentrated onto a single central unit. So this is hemispherical bowl mirror concentrator. Okay, number of mirrors will be used for the purpose of concentrator. Here the center line, whatever you can see. Okay, so this is this tower. Okay, so on the other side also you can use. There will be a concentrator. So around the concentrator you can use it. So throughout the day you will get it. Such mirrors you can place it around the concentrator. This tower entire structure will be the receiver, the top portion. So wherever the sun moves, some of the mirrors will be actively working and the rays will be concentrated to the center. This is the concept. Hemispherical bowl mirror concentrator. Okay, there will be number of mirrors used as concentrators here. Please take down the sketch. Right. Next, advantages of concentrating collectors over flat plate collectors. Now we have studied two types of collectors. One is the flat plate collector. The second is the concentrating collectors. So what are the advantages of this concentrating collector? Why should we spend such an extra money, huge amount of space, and why should we construct it? So we have to study that. The size of the absorber can be reduced. That gives high concentration ratio. This you have observed already. In a flat plate collector, size of the absorber is equal to size of the collector. Just say for example, okay, one second. So if this is a collector, a flat plate collector, the entire area of the collector will be equal to area of absorber. Okay, but whereas in a concentrating collector, it is not so. Okay, so for example, the hemispherical bowl structure, if you consider, so you will calculate the diameter and you will calculate the area of the collector, but the absorber will be very small. It will be 10 to at least 10% maximum of the entire area. So that definitely the cost and maintenance issues will be less. That is one thing, and you can get maximum possible concentration ratio. That is why you can reach very high temperatures in this mechanism. Okay, thermal losses are less than flat plate collectors. So usually flat plate collectors, as we discussed earlier, the diluted form of energy we get. Okay, losses will be more. Absorber area is more, so more amount of reflection and losses to the atmosphere will be more. But in a concentrating collector, relatively less amount of losses will be there. Okay, because of the concentrated form of energy. Okay, see here it is clearly mentioned. However, small losses occur in the concentrating collector. One second. Okay. However, small losses occur in the concentrating collector because of its optical system. Okay, wherein reflection, absorption of mirrors, lenses, that will be definitely there. As compared to the flat plate collector, the amount of losses will be definitely less. Okay, the efficiency of any system, any thermal system you take, the efficiency will be usually at higher temperatures. So as you operate the system at a higher temperature, you can expect better efficiencies there. So that in general, you can reach a temperature range of 150 to 300 degrees centigrade in a concentrating collector, wherein maximum temperature that can be reached with the help of a flat plate collector is 100 degrees centigrade. So due to high temperatures, you will get better efficiency. Okay. So in these collectors, the area intercepting the solar radiation is greater than the absorber area. That is definite. First and this fourth point are almost similar. Okay. So you can use them for very high temperature applications. You can run a steam power plant also. And the main point is reflectors can cost less per unit area than flat plate collectors. Okay, this is the main point. So for building this same size, say for example, what we saw is 5 meter by 3 meter collector in the photograph. Okay, in the same cost, you can build a large concentrating collector relatively. Okay, focusing or concentrating can be used for electric power generation, heating, cooling, any purpose you can use it almost. But whatever general FPCs are there, using a PV concept, you can use it for electric generation or water heating, not beyond that. Okay, little or no antifreeze is required to protect the absorber in a concentrating system. What do you mean by antifreeze? Okay, so here just one simple example. In Bangalore, if you install a FPC, flat plate collector, okay, in the winter season also you don't find any issues in operation because the lowest temperature that can be reached is 15 degrees, not less than that. But if you mount it in areas where temperatures are very less, 2 degrees or 3 degrees, whatever water is present in the tube, it gets freezed up. Okay, so the collector gets blocked. It will not work. Okay, in such cases, you have to use certain antifreeze liquids, which will help in fast melting of this freezed ice. Right. So such problems will not be there in concentrating collector. As we draw the structure, just if you externally clean the mirror, that is more than enough. Even in a light sunny day, in a very cold place, you can start getting a small amount of heat. Okay. And if you ask why, again, see this application in the Western countries where temperatures are very less. Okay, there the applications are more for room heating purpose. They use for such purposes. In the winter, any small amount of heat generated by a solar system is of very great advantage. Okay, in summer it may not be so advantageous. In winter, it will be of more requirement. So in such seasons, if you use a concentrating collector with the available small sunlight, you can easily heat the room. Okay, for such applications without spending the electricity, it can be done. So these are some of the advantages of concentrating collector in comparison with the FPC, that is the flat plate collector. Please make a note of it. If they ask such questions, they are very easy. No need of drawing sketches, no needing of writing paragraphs. Just to the point, if you reproduce 5 to 6 points, straight away you'll get full marks. Please make a note. Okay. Next, when there are advantages, as we have discussed many times, there will be certain limitations also. Okay. So what are the limitations of this concentrating collectors? One, out of the beam and diffused radiation, only beam radiation can be collected in case of focusing collectors. Okay. Because diffused radiations, this concept we have discussed in the very beginning, that is the first module, introduction to solar energy, correct? So diffused radiation cannot be reflected, so that scatter and move away. That is the major problem. Diffuse radiation cannot be reflected, so only beam radiation you can collect it. Whereas in FPC, diffuse radiation, if it enters into the glass surface, it will not be let out. That part will also be absorbed. Yeah. In some stationary reflecting systems, it is necessary to have an absorber to track the sun image. This we discussed already. Okay. So tracking mechanism is definitely required. Otherwise, the efficiency will go down drastically. Yeah. So once a tracking mechanism means there should be a timer unit like microcontroller. There should be a stepper motor, and the energy is required to operate it. Even microcontroller, if it consumes lower energy, a huge stepper motor is required. Why? Because the paraboloidal, what we saw, is a huge structure. That entire dome is to be tilted along with the sun direction. So the cost of the system may go high. This is one problem. Additional requirements of maintenance, okay, particular to retain the quality of reflecting surface. Okay, that is also a problem. If there is any oxidation, so for example, if salt water falls onto it, okay, onto the reflector, oxidation takes place, white patches form. Okay, if that happens, the efficiency of the collector keeps reducing. If there is any dust or dirt which is falling on the collector, okay, then definitely the reflecting capacity will be less, so that the efficiency of the system drops. Of course, these days auto cleaning mechanisms are there, but again the cost will be higher. Yeah. So non-uniform flux on the absorber, whereas flux in flat plate collectors will be uniform. So that is also an additional point. Flux will not be uniform throughout. Additional optical losses such as reflectance loss, intercept losses. So optics, if you study, you will come through this factors, even though they are very negligible, but they are still a limitation. So that is why it is listed here. Maybe neglected. Okay, high initial cost will be definitely high. Okay, if you want to build a perfect system, okay, which will give you the best output like tracking mechanism, okay, with the proper quality of glass, everything, the cost will be a little bit higher. These are some of the disadvantages. Make a note of it. Next, we'll move to the applications of solar energy. Some of the important applications as I have listed here: water heating, power generation, space heating, cooling, That is air conditioning, refrigeration, distillation, solar pond, etc. These are some of the applications. Okay, just take down this chart. So general applications can be split into two types: direct thermal applications, okay, like water heating, space heating, agricultural and industrial processing heating, etc. Next is the electrical power generating with the help of a hot working fluid, photovoltaics, wind, ocean thermal, tidal, geothermal, etc. Okay, so these are some of the applications of solar energy in general. Biomass and biogas also are the components. This we have discussed long back. Take down the chart. So first we will move with the water heating solar system. This is the most basic application. Okay. There are two types. In the first one is the natural circulation solar water heater. Take down the